Hello and welcome. I'm Chris Child, Senior Director of Product. At Snowflake, one of our core values has always been our customer-first focus. Over the past few years, we have seen incredible growth in the number of customers using Snowflake to power their own applications. As we've listened to these customers, to all of you here in the audience today, we've heard a need to double down on these types of applications and to make Snowflake not just a great platform for data applications, but the very best. As you heard in Christian's keynote, we are incredibly excited to announce a big step in that direction with our new Powered by Snowflake program to further support the many customers who are choosing to build their applications on top of Snowflake. Today, I'm excited to tell you more about the program, about how you can partner with Snowflake to build your applications faster and reach and delight more customers. I'm also excited to be joined later by BlackRock, one of the founding partners of the Powered by Snowflake program, who will talk about their innovative solution, Aladdin Data Cloud, powered by Snowflake. But first, let's start with a major shift happening right in front of us. We're heading towards a world where every application is a data application. For example, let's say you're building a next-generation CRM application, and you realize that you're going to be collecting gigabytes of data about each and every contact, their interactions, and you need to be able to search all of it quickly. Or maybe you're building an application for vehicle fleets, and you use telematics coming from IoT devices, like fuel consumption and speed and mileage and driver behavior, and you want to use that data to help your customers run their fleet operation. Or maybe you're building a grocery delivery app, and you rely on data to provide contextual and predictive experiences to all of your users. The common thread is that in all of these situations, you need to be able to use data. You need to be able to ingest and process and query absolutely massive amounts of data quickly and cost effectively. But as product managers and engineers, we know that building applications successfully is hard, and many of them fail. First, it requires that you build on a platform that not only helps you ship faster, but can also scale and not distract you into handling performance issues as soon as your app experiences the growth you've been hoping for. As the number of users and the volume and complexity of your data increases, as it invariably does, you need a platform that scales with you so your product teams can continue to meet their customers' performance and feature demands. Second, you run into a problem with data silos. All the data that you need to build your app with exists. It's just scattered across hundreds of different systems in different formats and typically stored in different clouds, making it very complicated to deliver value to your end customers via the experiences that you want to build. Third, as software makers, our goal is to build a business with a large and highly engaged customer base. But driving awareness and adoption of new products is a difficult challenge for everyone, from the tiniest startups to the largest enterprises. And finally, operations are hard. Anyone who's been with a high-growth company knows this. Support issues are amplified through to your end customers, resulting in application downtimes and bad user experiences. It can be hard to tell if the issue is with your application or your platform. And these complicated issues require more experienced technical support that understands what you're building. Now, we've experienced these challenges firsthand at Snowflake as we built and grew our product to serve thousands of customers running millions of workloads every single day. And that's why we built the Snowflake Data Cloud to be a unique solution to address these gaps. The Snowflake Data Cloud helps software companies and application developers in three key ways. First, our core platform is a powerful technology to let you ship faster and provide near unlimited power, scale, and concurrency. You also get great price performance, along with security, flexibility, per second pricing, and much, much more. Snowflake's platform takes care of the operational burden and empowers your teams with higher developer productivity. Second, the Data Cloud eliminates silos by giving you seamless access to all the data that your applications need. Just imagine the differentiated apps you can build if you could have near instant access to every data point relevant to what your customers need, regardless of what systems or regions or clouds that the data resides in. And finally, You can drive awareness of your application by listing and sharing through the Snowflake Data Marketplace. But you don't just have to take my word for this. Hundreds of companies have built data applications with Snowflake and are serving millions of concurrent sessions every single day. Some of these companies have built specific offerings with data, while others have built entire business models that rely on Snowflake at their core. Regardless of what kind of application you're building, you are in great company on Snowflake. Now, we believe that the companies that figure out how to deliver great applications are the ones that are able to win the hearts, the minds, and the wallets of their customers. And we believe that our future success at Snowflake depends on our ability to make you all successful in doing exactly that. Through our engagement with hundreds and hundreds of developers and software companies, from very large ISVs to startups that just began, we have learned a ton about your needs and what you all need to be successful. Today, I'm incredibly excited to tell you more about Powered by Snowflake, a brand new program especially designed to help software companies and app developers build, market, and operate their data applications in the data cloud. As part of this program, you will get access to technical experts, to workshops, and to a growing library of resources to help you design the right data architecture for your application, including best practices, reference architectures, and step-by-step guides. You'll build your applications faster and take better advantage of the Snowflake Data Cloud, which will differentiate your products in the market. Second, as a member of the program, you'll collaborate with our team to increase exposure, amplify your brand presence, and generate more leads with go-to-market programs, joint content, and campaigns like webinars, office hours, and events. We want to tell your story together. You will get access to support engineers who specialize in app development environments and use cases, and they will work with you to help with alerts and troubleshooting and insights on support issues and operations. So in summary, there's 3 key parts of this program that we're incredibly excited about. Build. We will help you build better products with faster engineering velocity. Grow. We will help you drive awareness and adoption of your application. And operate. We'll give you access to support engineers who will provide responsive support to help you better operate your applications. Now, we didn't design this program in a lab. We have been working with several partners along the whole way who've helped us design and shape the Powered by Snowflake program. I'd love to take a minute to talk about a couple of them now. Instacart wanted to build an application for its grocery store partners to see more comprehensive, timely purchasing trends and insights on their marketplace. With the Powered by Snowflake program's workshops on design optimization and access controls, they were able to significantly accelerate their development time. Okta is going through tremendous growth and wanted to rebuild their customer-facing reporting application on Snowflake. They moved to Snowflake because of the simplicity of managing scaling and managing operations. Okta's product team found the Powered by program incredibly valuable and insightful. The program has provided them with best practices to accelerate their design decisions around architecture patterns and the optimizations required to scale. The result is that they have built a technology stack that not only has helped them ship the first version of their application faster, but is going to allow them to seamlessly scale as they grow. The Adobe Advertising Cloud manages dollars on behalf of advertisers, and its search feature is powered by Snowflake. At such a large scale, operations tend to get very complex. Snowflake support engineers work directly with the customer engineering team at Adobe as an extension of their team to proactively identify and resolve any technical issues, empowering the product team at Adobe to stay agile and move faster. Lacework is a cloud security provider, and through engagement with the Powered by Snowflake program, they're expanding their reach to more customers and new segments by leveraging activities and channels with Snowflake, like joint content websites, social media, speaking opportunities at events. In fact, Lacework has a session at this summit coming up later that you should make sure to check out. Now, we're going to hear from a founding member of the program, BlackRock. Matt Glickman, VP of Financial Services at Snowflake, and Daniel Gorvich, Managing Director at BlackRock, will discuss BlackRock's journey of building Aladdin Data Cloud powered by Snowflake.
BlackRock has been shaping the investment management industry for years and is now using Snowflake to power the next wave of transformation for the entire industry. Daniel, thank you so much for joining us here at Snowflake Summit. I'm really excited to talk about the partnership between BlackRock and Snowflake.
Thanks, Matt, and thanks for the opportunity to speak to you today and to be with all of you today. So, Aladdin's story is really BlackRock's story. When Larry, Rob, and others started the firm, what they were setting out to do and what we still do today is in many ways to bring the best data, analytics, and information to investors, to people like you and me who have portfolios that are invested in our 401ks or in our pension funds, depending on which countries we live in, or in our universities, endowments, and other institutions that we care about, and bring the best of the sort of math around investing to those portfolios to achieve the best possible outcomes so that more and more people can achieve financial well-being. And Aladdin was built from the first days of BlackRock to be a system where the data that is needed in the investment process can all be brought in, normalized, made to speak the same language. We call that Aladdinized. And through that, allow the people in our company, our colleagues who work on different parts of the investment process, risk managers, portfolio managers, traders, compliance officers, investment operations colleagues, accountants, to look at that data, to understand that data, to collaborate across the globe off a single normalized view of those portfolios, right, across the investment life cycle. And that's really what it is today. And about 20 years ago, about 10 years into BlackRock's evolution, our clients started asking, hey, that technology, Aladdin, that you're using, can I have it? Can I have that platform as my own technology so that I can use it to deliver for the investors that I serve, for the clients that I serve, to help them achieve their outcomes? And that's where Aladdin, sort of as a technology business and as a technology platform, started, and sort of what it is today is a function of sort of us trying to do that over the last 20 years.
Fascinating. Can you tell us about your journey in building the Aladdin Data Cloud?
For most of the last 20 years, or maybe for the first 10 or 15 years of that period, it's actually not that long when you think about it. The way that most people used Aladdin, and sort of many still use Aladdin today, is by effectively clicking buttons on screens, right? So Aladdin is not one application; it's actually a number of applications that work along the same data model across the same operating system, across the same platform. That are used by different people to do the different jobs they have in the investment life cycle, right? And the way that historically many people interacted with that is not that different from how we've historically all interacted with software that we use in our daily lives, is by clicking buttons, looking at information, understanding that information, making that decision, inputting, and so on and so forth. And about 5 or 6 years ago, we started seeing a lot of clients, BlackRock included, obviously, asking us to open Aladdin in a new and a different way so that they could not only work with Aladdin and that data model through the screens I described, but also to work with that data programmatically. And two things were driving that. The first thing that was driving that was our clients were looking to build their own reports, analytics, algorithms, technology, applications that they wanted to be deeply and tightly integrated with Aladdin, but was purely theirs, was custom to them, whether it was their intellectual property or just something that was special about their business and how they wanted to serve their clients. But they wanted to be tightly integrated with the operating system that they used at their core, right? And the second thing that happened was that our clients also found, and again, BlackRock has been as much in this camp as anyone, that more and more of our people started coming to work knowing how to code or learning how to code. And we have this concept that we call citizen development or citizen developers. And the idea here is traders or portfolio managers or compliance officers who are spending half their day in Aladdin and half their day in a Python notebook, right?
Yep.
And they're doing their job. They don't necessarily even put developer engineer on their business card, right? We have many developers and engineers who use Aladdin Studio and work with Aladdin the way they describe, but many of them are citizen developers. And And as that happened, one of the things that we started doing is we built a product called Aladdin Data Warehouse so that our clients and BlackRock could bring together the Aladdin data and non-Aladdin data together so that those people could start to work in a very fluid way on top of the Aladdin ecosystem. And of course, as the amount of data sort of exploded in the last 5 years, we've all seen that, we've all lived it. Just the technological needs in order to really allow our clients, allow BlackRock to do what we want to do with the data for the best outcomes for our end investor clients, really required a whole new sort of set of technology, starting with the cloud, and sort of that's where the Aladdin Data Cloud came to be.
With that, what value do you see Aladdin Data Cloud providing your customers?
Yeah, so the Aladdin Data Cloud really does three things. The first is it's a managed service that allows our clients to bring their Aladdin data and their non-Aladdin data together in a managed environment that has all of the benefits of Snowflake's technology, is cloud agnostic, so they can choose which cloud they run on. And really where Aladdin comes in is that the Aladdin Data Cloud speaks Aladdin, right? So it has all of the investment expertise, if you will, embedded into that. So as you think about sort of data schemas and the specific joins and queries and all the things that you would imagine are part of the investment process, tied natively with sort of through our partnership with you into a single product, right? And so that's sort of the first thing, is this sort of a data cloud that speaks investing, that speaks Aladdin, right? The second piece is, because many of our clients, and Matt, you and I have talked to clients about this, directly, but many of our clients who have data warehouses and that run on Aladdin, that have already chosen to use Aladdin as their operating system, find that 70% of their data in their data warehouse is actually coming in some way, shape, or form from Aladdin, right? And same is true for BlackRock. And we spent many years building, maintaining pipelines, ETLs, joins into the Aladdin data warehouse. We spent many years building up that expertise. And today we deliver 11,000 fields from Aladdin, from all different parts, in a pre-normalized, pre-joined way into the Aladdin Data Cloud. So when a client switches it on, it already is populated with their data. And more, there's a set of common data sources. So, our big, custodian partners, who are incredibly important partners of BlackRock, send us lots of data. We've spent a lot of years kind of figuring out how to normalize that so it looks the same and that it connects to the Aladdin data. So we provide that as a service to our clients. So the second piece of this is the investing data, as far as we can, is there. Obviously, clients have the ability to bring their own data, and they do that, and we have self-service tools to do that side by side. But that is a huge value to clients. And the third, and maybe this is the most important, is that when I spoke earlier about this idea of this citizen developer who's half the day in Aladdin in the applications and half the day in Aladdin Studio, what they want to do, and what the organizations where they work want, is to make sure that the RBAC, the role-based access controls, are actually the same across the two. And that's important for a user, because I don't want to see, we have very, very tight, as you can imagine, sort of security and controls within Aladdin, so that only the people who are allowed to see a certain portfolio can see that portfolio, for example, right? When you go into the data environment, to Aladdin Studio, to work with the same data, you want to have that control. And it's important for me as a user not to have to establish that twice and ask for it in different places. And every time I get a new portfolio, I've got to figure out, do I have access here and here? And also, as an organization trying to maintain kind of a control environment, doing that in one place obviously has lots of benefits versus it maintaining it in two different places. So again, this ease of use, and if you think about the cognitive load of someone who's trying to just do their job on a day-to-day basis and needs to work with data and with our system, the ability to do both in a totally fluid way is really sort of the third big piece of value.
That's awesome. I think that data governance story of the partnership is super strong. On top of that, then, why did you decide to build Aladdin Data Cloud with Snowflake?
So at first, we didn't decide to build Aladdin Data Cloud with Snowflake. We built Aladdin Data Warehouse 5 years ago with a different set of technologies. And frankly, we ran into a reality of the amount of demand we were seeing The fact that, frankly, we had made a decision last year to move Aladdin to the cloud, with Microsoft and with Azure, where we said, we really need to, if we're really going to be successful here and really deliver for our clients, not only in the near term but in the long term, as the universe of data expands, we need to do this, with a technology that is going to scale in the same way. And frankly, from our perspective, that has the sort of flexibility, that Snowflake provided, to be able to run in multiple setups in multiple situations with different clients, depending on choices that they've made.
Awesome. So why now?
For me, that question is the better question is why not earlier? Because frankly, we've been solving some of these challenges in different ways over the last year or two. I think a lot of this has to do, with our partnership. I think, you and I and many of your colleagues spent, much of the last year figuring out how to together build the very best investment management data solution, out there, right?
Yep.
And the partnership that we formed through that, and I think that's kind of the whole point of this Powered by program, I think that we're talking about here in this segment. But it's really been about sort of finding an approach to doing this that we believe is protects the best interests and kind of reflects the best interests of our clients. And BlackRock, our Aladdin community, and not only that, but reflects what we're hearing from them and technology choices that they're making. So BlackRock and Aladdin is an extraordinarily client-centric organization. It's sort of the thing that is kind of we hold kind of most central. We are a fiduciary to our clients, and we think about sort of our client interests kind of first and foremost. And a lot of this, frankly, our dialogue with you and their decision making has sort of been driven by that and sort of what's the right timing for them.
No, that's great. We're seeing it with customers, and I truly believe we're delivering a joint solution that's best in class from first principles. What can your customers do now with Aladdin Data Cloud powered by Snowflake that wasn't possible before?
Aladdin Data Cloud does a couple of things that are new and exciting for clients. So one of the things that's cool is because we've spent 5 years building the Aladdin Data Warehouse, all of the benefits and all of the investment that we've made actually shows up on day one. So all of that pipelining work, the hard stuff, if you will, that many of us experience if we've been in the data field long enough, actually much of that investment has been made. So none of that stops, but we have a huge set of capabilities in the Aladdin Data Cloud that sort of exist from day one. But there's a couple of things that are new, right? So one is clients can run the Aladdin Data Cloud in the commercial cloud of their choice. The other piece of this is, one of the important piece of technology is sort of the separation of, storage and compute, right? So this idea that, individuals across the organization, can actually, or teams across the organization can spin up virtual data warehouses that suit their needs, spin them up, spin them down. And we do a lot of that with our clients because it's provided as a managed service, but they can also do it themselves, right? And then the third piece is, we are taking advantage of some of the connections that Snowflake has in the broader data ecosystem, and clients can connect, the Aladdin Data Cloud. Many of our clients connect the Aladdin Data Cloud to any data strategy they have. It's quite open as a platform, so they connect it to any type of data warehouse or data provider. But in particular, if they're using Snowflake, you guys have built a set of technologies that allow Snowflake to talk to each other. I'm sure you guys do a better job of explaining those than I do to this audience. But we found them to, clients who have made a decision to use Snowflake already are saying, hey, I can now bring my liability data into the Aladdin Data Cloud to sit next to my asset data and start to think about, combining those data and do analytics, that previously around data was sitting in 2 different places, right? So those kinds of conversations, are pretty exciting to us. And it's sort of a big part of why we partnered in the first place.
Awesome. Talked a lot about some really interesting use cases, but maybe a little bit more. How are these clients using Aladdin and the Aladdin Data Cloud?
Clients use the Aladdin Data Cloud. Maybe I'll answer the question a little differently. Clients use Aladdin Studio to do a set of things. It's really to build reports, analytics, applications, in the investment process, around Aladdin, right? So clients have a lot of this data, but as you can imagine, every organization, needs its own reports, right? And they have different views on how they want those reports to look, and whether it's management reports or board reporting or regulatory reporting. they're using Aladdin Studio and our capabilities there, and the fact that the Aladdin Data Cloud can bring together that data, as the core source of that, as an example. They're using it, to drive, desk side analytics. So a particular desk has a view on a set of analysis that it wants to do using the portfolio data, mixing it with other data, and there's maybe competitive advantage for that desk. So the client and the trader or the portfolio manager has built something in Aladdin Studio that is theirs, right? And is doing that, on top of Aladdin Studio, and again, pulling the data from the Aladdin Data Cloud. And then there are clients who are building, applications and connecting those via, either directly, to the data or through APIs, and all of those things kind of sit together. So I think that the idea here is to allow a client, through Aladdin Studio, to build their ecosystem of technology, their ecosystem of data that's fully proprietary to them, that's custom to them, and is also deeply integrated with their Aladdin ecosystem that they're using as their operating platform. And we're doing that, frankly, at BlackRock. We've got more people who are developing on Aladdin Studio than there are engineers who work on the core of Aladdin, and there's a lot of engineers who work on the core of Aladdin. But that sort of just speaks to sort of the speed at which this is happening, and frankly, the number of use cases that we're seeing.
No, that's amazing, and you've struck a really amazing balance between using this internally and empowering your clients in the industry. So with that, with all the excitement I'm sure there is in the industry, what's the timeline for launch and rollout?
Yeah, so I was pretty excited a couple of weeks ago. We got the Aladdin Data Cloud working in our dev environment. Hearing good noises from the team. We're continuing to work through some of the integrations, but we are planning on being live in the early part of the summer for BlackRock. So we eat our own cooking. It's very much a user provider model that we have, and we're going to make it live for BlackRock at the beginning of the summer, near the beginning of the summer, and then for clients near the end of the summer, early fall. Starting with our Aladdin Data Warehouse clients and many of other clients who've expressed interest.
Again, super exciting. Thank you so much, Daniel, for speaking with us today, for the partnership. I really think together we're disrupting the industry and really empowering the citizen developers, the new persona of the people managing the investment management process. Very exciting. I know we kicked this off, now going on over a year ago. And so glad you're able to join us here today. And again, really appreciate the time. And I think we're just getting started.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
Thank you, Daniel and Matt. You can get started today by going to the Snowflake Partner Network and registering to join the Powered by Snowflake program. This will give you immediate access to self-service resources, as well as information on how to apply for the other benefits we've talked about. Now, whether you work for a large Fortune 100 software company, or you just started an early stage startup last week, our goal is to make application developers like you insanely successful. We have a few more sessions at the summit around this, including a panel discussion with our pilot partners. There are also many breakout sessions on application development, as well as Powered by Snowflake partner spotlights throughout today and tomorrow that will be amazing. We are excited to learn more about what you are building and discuss how we can best serve you and your apps. Let's go build.